Baltimore looks like one city, but every block follows a different boss. Full spoilers ahead, from the first courtroom lie to the final city montage. The Wire is not really about one detective chasing one criminal. It is about people trapped inside machines that reward the wrong things. Police want quick arrests, politicians want pretty numbers, and dealers want corners. Teachers need test scores, newspapers need prizes, and everyone needs money. The people change, but the machines keep eating them. Our guide is homicide detective Jimmy McNulty, clever and spectacularly self-destructive. He watches D'Angelo Barksdale escape murder after a witness changes her story. McNulty tells Judge Phelan that D'Angelo belongs to a hidden drug empire. That empire is run by D'Angelo's uncle, Avon Barksdale. Avon owns the West Side Towers without putting his name on anything. His partner Stringer Bell runs meetings like an illegal office manager. The judge embarrasses police leaders into forming a special investigation. They send Lieutenant Cedric Daniels a room of supposed leftovers. But Daniels has Kima Greggs, Lester Freeman, Roland Przybylowski, and McNulty. The team learns street arrests only trim branches from a giant tree. To reach the roots, they need a wiretap on the gang's pagers and phones. On the street, D'Angelo manages young dealers Bodie, Poot, and Wallace. He teaches them the rules, then slowly realizes the rules have no mercy. Another player, Omar Little, robs dealers and never pretends to be innocent. Omar steals from Avon, so Avon's crew tortures and kills Omar's partner Brandon. Wallace sees Brandon's body and tells the police what happened. Then Wallace returns to the neighborhood because safety feels lonely and unreal. Stringer orders Bodie and Poot to kill their own friend. They obey, and the game turns two boys into executioners. Meanwhile, The Wire reveals money, murders, suppliers, and political donations. They force the detail into an early sting before the full network is exposed. The operation collapses when Kima is shot and nearly killed. The department suddenly wants revenge, not a careful case. Carver begins learning that good policing needs trust, not endless arrests. D'Angelo is caught carrying heroin and decides he might finally cooperate. But his mother tells him that protecting family means accepting the punishment. D'Angelo takes the years, Avon gets less time, and Wee-Bey absorbs murders. Stringer stays free, ready to run the business while Avon sits in prison. McNulty's reward for being right is exile to the Marine unit. Season 2 moves from the towers to Baltimore's dying docks. Union leader Frank Sabaka watches honest work disappear shift by shift. He wants money to save the port, so he helps smuggle contraband through containers. Frank tells himself crime is only a tool for protecting working families. Then 13 young women are found dead inside one sealed container. Major Valchek starts investigating Frank over a petty church window feud. Daniels rebuilds his detail, and the case quickly grows far beyond that insult. Frank's nephew Nick sells stolen goods because dock work cannot support him. Frank's son Ziggy wants respect, but every attempt makes him look smaller. Their smuggling partners answer to a careful trafficker known only as the Greek. The Greek imports drugs and people while keeping his own hands clean. Across town, Stringer struggles to keep Avon's organization supplied. He secretly trades territory to Proposition Joe for access to better heroin. In prison, D'Angelo finally rejects the family business and chooses a new life. Stringer decides that new life is dangerous and orders D'Angelo murdered. The killing is staged as suicide, leaving Avon mourning without knowing the truth. Avon sends feared enforcer brother Muzon to protect his territory. Stringer tricks Omar into shooting Muzon, then keeps his secret deal alive. At the docks, Ziggy snaps and kills a smuggling contact during a humiliation. Frank agrees to cooperate with police, hoping he can still help his son. But the federal mole alerts the Greek before Frank can testify. Frank walks into a meeting and is pulled from the water dead. Police solve the container murders and arrest several middlemen. The Greek and his lieutenants simply leave, identities and supply line intact. The docks keep dying and the smugglers quietly prepare to return. Season 3 brings Avon home and destroys the friendship holding his empire together. The old towers are demolished, scattering dealers onto ordinary neighborhood streets. Stringer wants cooperation, shared territory, reliable supply, and fewer unnecessary bodies. Avon wants his corners and the reputation that makes his name matter. A young dealer, Marlo Stanfield, refuses Stringer's peaceful business club. Avon attacks Marlo, turning West Baltimore into a turf war scoreboard. At the same time, Police Major Bunny Colvin is tired of meaningless arrests. He moves drug selling into abandoned zones and stops arresting buyers there. Dealers call the largest zone Hamsterdam, mangling its official name. Outside those blocks, robberies fall, residents reclaim sidewalks, and violence drops. Inside, addiction becomes visible, ugly, and finally reachable by health workers. Colvin has not solved drugs, he has stopped pretending arrests solved them. Politics cannot survive that honesty, so his commanders crush the experiment. Councilman Tommy Carcetti uses the scandal as fuel for his mayoral campaign. Another man tries a quieter reform. Former enforcer Cuddy Wise leaves Avon's crew. Cuddy opens a boxing gym and gives neighborhood boys somewhere else to stand. Stringer tries becoming a legitimate property developer, but politician Clay Davis swindles him. Stringer also confesses that he ordered D'Angelo's death, breaking Avon's trust. Fearing Avon's war, Stringer gives police the weapon's location. But Avon betrays Stringer too, giving his location to Muzon. Omar and Muzon corner Stringer in his unfinished building and kill him. Police then raid Avon's hideout and send him back to prison. The Barksdale empire disappears, but Marlo takes the empty corners before dust settles. Season 4 asks where the next generation of that game comes from. 4 8th graders begin the year as friends: Michael, Dookie, Randy, and Namond. Michael is guarded and responsible, protecting his little brother from a dangerous home. Dookie is poor, neglected, and bright when someone gives him time. Randy has a tiny business mind and dreams of owning something honest. Namond talks like a tough dealer because his imprisoned father is Wee-Bay. Their new math teacher is Prez, the former detective who finally found patience. Children arrive hungry, frightened, angry, and already trained by the street. Calvin joins a classroom experiment for students labeled future criminals. He reaches Namond by treating the loud performance as fear, not destiny. Meanwhile, Marlo controls the west side with enforcers Chris and Snoop. They hide murdered rivals inside vacant row houses, turning walls into secret graves. Marlo forces independent dealer Bodie to sell his product. Proposition Joe brings Marlo into the cooperative and introduces him to the Greek's supply. Omar robs the cooperative's entire shipment, embarrassing every boss at once. Michael asks Chris to remove the abusive man who has returned to his home. Chris understands Michael's fear and beats the man to death without needing details. That protection comes with a price. Michael starts working for Marlo. Randy reveals what he knows about a murder, trusting adults to protect him. Police mishandle his identity, and the neighborhood brands him an informant. His foster home is firebombed, his mother is hurt, and Randy enters care. Dookie improves with Prez, but social promotion sends him onward before he is ready. Namond cannot become the soldier his mother demands, and Calvin takes him in. Prez can help one classroom, but he cannot repair every broken system outside. Garcetti wins the mayor's office, promising honest reform and better policing. Then he discovers a massive school deficit and chooses ambition over outside help. The budget crisis freezes investigations just when the vacant house bodies are discovered. Bodie, disgusted by Marlo's pointless killings, decides to talk to McNulty. Marlo's crew murders him on his corner before he can testify. Bubbles tries protecting young Sherrod by poisoning a vial meant for a bully. Sherrod takes it by mistake, and Bubbles collapses under unbearable guilt. He turns himself in, survives a suicide attempt, and enters recovery. By year's end, Namond has a safe home while Randy becomes hard and isolated. Michael becomes a killer, and Dookie follows him because no stable door stays open. Season 5 begins 15 months later, with Garcetti cutting police funds for schools. The Marlo investigation closes, although Marlo's organization is more powerful than ever. McNulty returns to homicide and decides the broken system deserves a broken solution. He alters crime scenes to invent a serial killer targeting homeless men. The lie attracts money, officers, overtime, and the attention real murders never received. Lester joins the scheme and secretly redirects resources into an illegal Marlo wiretap. The city's newspaper faces its own cuts, losing reporters while chasing dramatic stories. Slow, difficult truths disappear because sensational lies are cheaper to publish. Reporter Scott Templeton invents details, and ambitious editors reward him for emotional impact. Templeton claims contact with McNulty's fake killer, so their two lies support each other. Garcetti turns the panic into a homelessness campaign and restores police funding. Marlo has Proposition Joe killed after learning everything Joe could teach him. He takes Joe's place with the Greek and controls the cooperative through fear. To punish Omar, Marlo's people murder Omar's mentor Butchie. Omar returns, robs Marlo's people, destroys money, and calls Marlo into the street. But legend offers no armor. Young Kennard shoots Omar inside a neighborhood store. Michael senses Marlo has marked him for death and kills Snoop first. He sends his little brother away, separates from Dookie, and becomes a robber like Omar. Dookie drifts to a junkyard, starts using heroin, and repeats Bubbles' old path. The illegal wire gives Lester enough information to arrest Marlo and his crew. Then Kima learns about the invented killer and tells Daniels the truth. City leaders bury the scandal because exposing it would destroy their own careers. Prosecutor Perlman discovers lawyer Morris Levy bought secret courthouse documents. She uses that corruption to force a deal despite the illegal police wiretap. Marlo walks free if he leaves the drug trade, while Chris accepts life in prison. McNulty and Lester retire, and Daniels resigns rather than fake better crime numbers. Templeton wins a prize, Garcetti becomes governor, and Valchek becomes commissioner. Yet small human victories survive. Bubbles is finally invited upstairs for family dinner. The final montage shows new people filling old roles across the same streets. Michael becomes the new Omar, Dookie the new Bubbles, and Sidner the new McNulty. The wire catches voices, but it cannot arrest a city designed to repeat itself. The game stays the game, unless enough people choose to change the machine.